Hi, everybody. This is Lisa, and I am one of the teachers here on Verbling.com. And this is going to be an English class for the next hour. It's going to be a listening class. So if you are interested in practicing your listening comprehension, you can join the class. If you have already made a reservation, then you can use the reservation now. Just click on the button up there above the video. And if you haven't yet made a reservation, you can still join the class. We can have up to 9 people in the Google Hangouts here. So if you are a and click Join Class. So you just click on the Join Class button. It's a green button at the top. Oh, darn it. Hold on. I'm going to find how many. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so had to close my window. The Verbling window opens and then starts talking because you're seeing the recording. This is a live class happening right now. I am in Washington State in the United States, and it's 6 p.m. in the evening for me. And so anybody around the world who wants to join us can join us. Hello, Raphael.
Hi, Lisa.
How are you doing today?
I'm a little cold today, but I'm fine. The
Cold, huh?
weather, yeah, the weather changed here, so it affects me a little, but I'm fine.
Yeah,
So
I
so
was talking.
don't mind if I sneeze a little bit.
Okay, you have a little cold. Um, yeah, I was talking to somebody who lives near Curitiba, and he showed me the clouds that they had today there. It was colder. I can't
Yeah,
say really cold compared to here, but
probably not.
I'm wearing a wool sweater right now. Okay. All right, and who else is joining us? Yes or Yesy?
Yesy,
Yesy, hi Yesy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Mexico City.
Wow, okay, wonderful. Well, welcome. Have you been on Verbling before?
Yes, but this is my first time in your class.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Great. All right, and Marcelo's back. All right, wonderful.
See you again. Good evening.
Good to see you.
For all.
How's it going?
Everything going on. Thanks God.
Yeah,
Today's Friday.
it's good. Today's Friday,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm hearing a little bit of an echo. Do you think, are you hearing that too?
Sorry, I didn't understand you. Can you repeat?
I'm wondering if you guys are hearing the echo. I'm hearing myself as an echo.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah?
I'm hearing your Dutch echo, but not mine.
Yeah, not yours. Yeah, okay.
But it's not enough disturbance.
Okay. Okay, well, we can go ahead and get started. We will see if anybody else joins us. Anybody who belongs to Verbling or wants to try Verbling can join a class at any time as long as there's room. And so this is going to be a listening class. So I'm going to be reading some little short little news articles, and I want you guys to listen, and then I'm going to ask some questions. So this will just be practice for you guys to see if you understand what I say. I'm going to speak like I'm talking now, so not super fast, but not super slow, so kind of a normal speed. And I'm going to turn off my video so you see my picture there. All right, so you guys, let's see. Let me have you. Let me try to. Yes, I'm gonna mute you and just see if that helps at all. I'm not sure. Is that helping? Yeah. Okay, that helps. So I'm gonna leave the microphone muted, Yesy, but when you want to speak, go ahead and mute yourself. Okay, so this is the first little news article. It's kind of a wild thing. I just was looking online for some things and found this one. Police, okay, the title of it is Woman Sells Her Baby. Police in Turkey have arrested a woman at the Sabiha Gökçen airport in Istanbul as she allegedly tried to sell her baby. The 22-year-old woman from Turkmenistan, identified as Dinara A, was caught on CCTV as she arrived at the airport on the 14th of September. She was, okay, so this was a while ago. She was with a woman believed to be who was carrying a hold-all in which authorities say was Dinara's baby. A couple, later identified as being Turkish-born Germans, is then seen going to meet the young woman. Police say the couple had agreed to pay 1,000 Turkish lira, which is around 300 pounds, for the child. Security footage shows Dinara going into the toilets carrying the hold-all, believed to contain her baby, and then leaving without it. Shortly after, the Turkish-born German woman leaves the toilets with the same hold-all, but Turkish police say she brought the infant back when she realized she couldn't get through passport control without the necessary documentation. Officers say the woman then contacted them to report an abandoned baby in the toilets. Turkish authorities have since deported Dinara, her mother, and the baby. The woman who was allegedly trying to buy the child was released after giving her statement. Okay, so let's ask a few questions. Start off with a simple one. So in what country did this happen?
Turkish?
In
Turkey.
Yeah, it happened in Turkey. Okay, and what was this woman trying to do, apparently?
To sell her baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you guys understand the word allegedly? It says she allegedly tried to sell her baby.
No.
No. Okay. So
She was
mm-hmm.
she was supposed to sell.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. You can look at the article there. It's means it's kind
She
of
was
like a.
she
Go
was
ahead.
believed to sell her baby.
Yes, exactly. It was believed that that's what she was trying to do. So when you're talking about things that might be against the law, we use the word allegedly if we don't know for sure if something happened, because you're not supposed to, incriminate somebody or make them guilty unless you know for sure, and then they have a trial. So allegedly, so supposedly, that's what I think you were going for. Raphael, supposedly or apparently, that's what she was trying to do. Okay, and where were how much did they agree to pay for the baby, they think? Does anybody remember that?
No, I don't remember, sorry.
Maybe 1,000. You said libras? Libras?
Yeah, it's lira, I guess.
Liras.
1,000 Turkish lira. Does anybody remember what it said that was the equivalent in pounds?
300 something with
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, good. Something with 3. Yes, exactly. 300 pounds. This is an interesting word that they used that we don't use here in the United States, but they called it a hold all. Did you guys understand what they meant with the hold all? Here's one of the sentences that they said in this report. Security footage shows Dinara going into the toilets carrying a hold all believed to contain her baby and then leaving without it. A hold all is like a big bag, a large bag that you use when you're traveling. We would just call it a bag. Yeah. So that's must be a British term, a hold all. Hi, Vu. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Wonderful. Welcome. So I just read the first article. It's a little news article about apparently a woman who was trying to sell her baby. Oh, where were they meeting at to try to do this transaction? Do you guys remember where they said?
At the airport, at the bathroom of the airport.
Yeah, exactly. At the airport in Istanbul, Turkey, and apparently the woman left the baby in the it says the toilets. We would say the bathroom. And yes, and this was the tricky part. What did the woman who supposedly was buying the baby? Why did she want to bring the baby back? What did she realize was her problem? What was going to be the problem with having the baby now?
Allegedly.
That's right, allegedly. Does anybody remember?
Yeah, that she needed more documentation. I think.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they were.
okay.
Yeah, she probably was going to fly somewhere. She thought, but she says that Turkish police say she brought the infant back when she realized she couldn't get through passport control without the necessary documentation. So that was kind of a flaw. That was a fail. Yeah, you try to get a new baby but you don't have any paperwork, you probably will not be able to travel if you can't prove that this is your baby. Okay, so officers say the woman then contacted them to report an abandoned baby in the toilet. So what happened to the woman? The Turkish authorities have since what? What did happen to Dinara and the baby? Did you guys understand that part? Dinara was the supposed name of the woman, and she's not from Turkey, actually. Well, I don't know exactly if that's true. Where is Turkmenistan? She's not from Istanbul, maybe. So she was deported. Do you guys know what deported means?
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
She
Means
was,
when you are in a different country and the country send you back to your native country.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, exactly. Okay, so she's from Turkmenistan. So she, yeah, it's a different country, and so that's where she got sent back. She got sent back. She and her mother. So I guess she was trying to get, to sell her baby. Why do you think she was trying to sell her baby? Anybody have an idea why she would do something like that?
I think that she want to have a baby, so I think she had in mind.
Whoa, I can't hear.
Can you hear me?
No, not very well. Can you guys hear him? Let me try that.
No.
Okay. No, can't hear. Maybe the sound is the volume is turned down or something. No? Nope. Yeah, I can hear you, but it's very like far away. It's very soft, quiet. It's kind of weird. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to read another one. So again, you guys can listen up, and then I'm going to ask you some details about it, see what you understood, what you can remember. And this one is called Man Was Lost for 19 Days. 19 days. It's an amazing story of survival. A 72-year-old deer hunter is recovering in a hospital in California after getting lost in the snowy wilderness of Mendocino National Forest for nearly 3 weeks. Gene Penaflor was discovered by hunters on Saturday, 19 days after going missing in northwestern California. He had survived by eating squirrels and wrapping leaves around his body to keep warm. His son, Jeremy Penaflor, described his father's ordeal. He ate squirrels, he ate lizards, frogs, snakes, whatever he needed to survive. I mean, he's out there for 18 days, so he needed the food. And when you're out there, whatever you have to do to survive, that's what he did. The Mendocino National Forest is run by the U.S. Forest Service and has been closed due to the government shutdown. Penaflor, described as an avid hunter with more than 30 years of wilderness experience, had been hunting with a friend when they became separated on September 24th. After 4 days of searching by at least 18 agencies from more than a dozen counties, the official search was suspended because searchers couldn't find any clues, and storms were coming. On Saturday, the search was finally resumed, but it was a group of hunters who heard Penaflor's cry for help and eventually found him in a canyon. Okay, so this man was missing. He was missing for 19 days. Does anybody remember how old he was?
72?
Yes, that's right. And what did they describe him as? They said a 72-year-old blank. What was he doing out in the wilderness?
I remember.
Do you guys remember why was he out there in the wilderness? What was he doing?
I was trying to fix my microphone. Sorry.
Okay, they described him as a deer hunter. You guys know what deer are?
Okay.
No.
That animal who lives in the wild.
Yes, exactly. So here in the United States, a deer, you can hunt deer, and so some people do. They go into the national forests or the national parks, and they can hunt deer.
Teacher, is it considered a kind of a sport?
Yes, for some people it's considered a kind of sport, and for other people they actually go hunting for food. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And
Do you
so,
need a license to hunting?
yes, you do. You have to have a license, and you have to have first of all, you have to have a gun, a hunter's license, which means you have to take a test. And then, yeah, you have to take a test and make sure you know gun safety and you have to know what to do with the animal after you kill it, where to bring it, all that type of stuff. And, especially you have to know all of the safety rules for deer hunting. So what else can we know about this man? What kinds of things did he eat while he was out in the wilderness?
Squirrels?
Snake.
Yeah, squirrel, snake. Yeah, what else? Anybody remember another thing that he ate?
No.
Frogs. You guys know what frogs are?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he ate frogs. Yes, so frogs and squirrels. So basically he ate, little animals that he could find. I'm trying to put a picture up here. There we go. So in the United States, this is what deer hunting looks like. This is probably something for a sport, like where the guy is trying to find a large buck. A buck is the name of the male deer. But usually, it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're just looking for meat or, what you're wanting. But typically there's, the type of gear that you have to use. You're supposed to wear this orange vest or some type of jacket so people, they can see you. Yep. So sometimes it is for sport and sometimes it really is for eating. I think even the people who are doing it for sport, they eat it still, So that's kind of insane, huge right there. I don't know if that's a real picture. But yeah, so anyways, he was in, do you guys remember what state he was in? The name of the state in the United States?
California?
Yes, he was in northern California, and he got lost, and he was out there hunting, and he survived, and they found him. So I have a question for you guys. Would you eat anything or do anything you had to do to survive if you got lost in the wilderness?
Sure.
Sure, why not? Yesy, what about you? What would you do if you got lost?
I don't know, cause I'm very picky eater.
That would be a problem.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, you would have to get over that pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I read about this guy before when it happened back in September, and apparently he was a very experienced hunter. So he knew what to do, and the problem was that he got separated from his friend, and so they got lost because there was like some fog or something, and he couldn't see him. And then they found him in a canyon. Do you guys know what a canyon is?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, it's similar in Spanish, at least. Yeah, maybe in Portuguese too. Yes. Yeah, no, not the Grand Canyon, but he didn't fall down into the Grand Canyon. Yes, but that's right, exactly. So he fell down and into some kind of canyon area. But the luckily part for him, which I read about, was that he was able to find water. So he was actually in an area. The canyon area is where there was like a river or something like that. So he was able to drink water, which is probably more important even.
So he's not that bad, you know. Like lots of food and water. And
Yeah, well, at least he knew how to do it.
he was on
Yeah.
vacation there.
I think it was getting cold too, so he had to make a fire. But he was, being 72 years old and very experienced, he was able to do it. But I wouldn't say that it was easy. Yeah. But he could do it for at least for 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks. All right, here's another one. This one's called 121 Snakes in a Suitcase. All right. Here's, yes? Anybody have a question? You guys all know what a suitcase is?
Suitcase?
Suit. It's
Yes.
called suitcase. You guys know? Where you put
Yes.
your clothes when you're going traveling.
In locket.
Yeah, they used to be, I'll show you. They used to look more like this, these suitcases. But now we have a lot of different kinds of ones that roll, rolling suitcases. But these are kind of like the old style suitcases. But now mostly people have these type of suitcases. Yeah, so that's the suitcase. So keep that in mind. And while I read this. Whoa, whoops. No, I don't want to show you it, though. All right, snakes in the suitcase. Here's the moment customs officials at an airport in Shanghai uncovered 121 endangered snakes stuffed into a suitcase. Snakes belonged to a particularly slippery smuggler who claimed that they were just toy snakes when officers asked to look inside his case after seeing abnormal images on the scanner screens. Upon opening the case, customs officials found the reptiles stuffed into black stockings and packed away in 21 plastic boxes. Snakes have been identified as endangered ball pythons, so called because they come into balls when frightened. It is illegal to trade snakes across international borders. These pythons had been smuggled to Hong Kong from Seattle by air cargo, where the trafficker picked them up and carried them to Shanghai. The unsuccessful smuggler was detained by police and may face up to life imprisonment for trafficking rare animals. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys now the type of snake that this was. Ball pythons. So that's a sample. Okay, so what do you guys remember about this story here? What did they find in the suitcase?
Snakes. Pythons.
Snakes. Ball pythons, right. And how did they find them? What did the guy see on the scan?
Through the X-ray screen.
He looked at the X-ray scan, and what did he find? Do you guys remember the 2 words
into 21 box?
Yeah, well, yeah, they were in little plastic boxes, but I was thinking of these two words. He saw abnormal images. So, they were weird looking images. He couldn't figure out what they represented. So on the scanner. So then he actually opened up the suitcase and he saw a bunch of reptiles. So you guys know that reptiles are the main name for snakes and other types of animals like lizards and things like that. And do you guys remember what they were stuffed into? What were they stuffed into?
Socks?
Yeah, black stockings.
Black stockings.
Yeah, they were stuffed into black stockings and in little plastic boxes. All right, why do they call them ball pythons? You guys know? Remember?
Be
Anybody?
because the way that these pythons the way that these pythons stay at their body, they like the format of the
Like a ball.
yeah, like a ball. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It looks like that. And in the article it said that they they make themselves into balls when they're frightened, especially. So that's what they do. They kind of like to hide, maybe. Whoa, those are cool looking. Okay, yeah, are you guys afraid of snakes?
Yes.
Well, you guys live in countries where there's lots of snakes, huh?
My country is a snake.
Yeah. Do you live in Vietnam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why
Have you
you
ever?
know that?
Oh, I guessed.
I already ate snake food. Yes.
What, Raphael?
I ate snake food once.
Yeah.
It looked like a chicken. It's not that different than chicken. Yeah.
So it's better still eating chicken than.
It's still better to eat chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never tried to eat a snake, but I do know that in some parts of the world it's much more common. Of course, it's a source of food. If you have a lot of snakes, you might as well eat them. Have you guys eaten any in Vietnam? I think in Vietnam people eat snakes, don't they? Or they eat snake hearts?
They eat snake and they can drink snake blood with wine.
Uh-huh. Have you ever had that?
No,
Oh my God.
No.
never.
Tiago, have you ever Toy? How do you say your name? Toy?
Yes, you
Toy?
speak right.
Okay, Toy. Have you ever had a snake in your house?
No.
Oh, that's good.
It's just go around in the garden, not in
In
my
the garden. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Vu?
No,
No, never. Good.
I have not ever eat snake.
You haven't eaten snake? Me neither.
Yes,
Raphael, have you ever been to parts of Brazil where the snakes live?
Yes, once I went to visit my uncle who lives in the inner city. So his house is close to a little forest, and there are a lot of wild animals there. And when I saw some snakes there.
Mm-hmm. Were you afraid?
No, but I didn't get that close. I just stay far away from them. I didn't.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Were they poisonous snakes?
I didn't. I don't know. I don't know a lot about snakes. No.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they only attack when they are in danger. When they feel threatened.
Sure.
Not- I don't think they look for. Of course, and when they are hungry, they look for something to eat.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Here, there are snakes in lots of different places in the United States. Not really like in the cities, but in the countryside or in the forest, especially in the areas where it's much hotter. You know, in like the deserty areas, there's lots of snakes there, poisonous snakes like rattlesnakes and stuff. So, yes. Most people are afraid of snakes around here. So I would be afraid of snakes. Okay, all right, here we go. One more thing I wanted to. Did you guys hear what his sentence will be? Do you guys know what a sentence is? How long will he have to stay in jail?
Uh, I think the rest of his life. I think.
Yes, they called it life imprisonment because he was trafficking these exotic snakes, and that's, I guess, against the law. But that's pretty surprising. Life imprisonment. I don't know. I guess if that's the Chinese law, that would be pretty crazy. Oh, and do you remember where he was coming from? What city in the United States?
Seattle.
Exactly. Yeah, he was going from Seattle, and then he went to Shanghai. So I live pretty close to Seattle, so that guy was not too smart to do that. All right, so here's one about robots. So you guys all know what robots are, probably. You've heard of robots, seen movies with robots in them, probably. So they're becoming more and more popular in the world. Okay, especially in Japan. So this one is called Many Robots in Tokyo. Every 2 years, Tokyo holds a robot exhibition called IREX. Hundreds of companies showed off their new designs this year. Many people were interested in all kinds of robotic toys, but there was serious stuff too. A robotic suit, for example. This suit has artificial muscles which support the user's body. The Japanese population is getting older, which can be a problem. This suit is a wonderful solution. Another interesting robot looked like a real snake. This robot is able to move very well even over rough surfaces. It can swim too. This robot might help a lot with finding people who have survived an accident. Okay, so how often do they hold the robot exhibition?
2 years.
Every 2 years, that's correct. And what do they do at the exhibition? What do companies do there?
They show their latest developments.
Yeah. They showed off their newest, the new designs of this year. Yes, so it's a place where people bring, the companies, bring their new ideas and that kind of stuff. So there's lots of toys, but there's also serious stuff. So how did they explain the robotic suit? What does the robotic suit do for you? Anybody remember?
You can easy moving.
Well, it said that it has something that might help older people. Does that you guys remember that was?
Artificial muscles.
Yeah, muscles. Yep. Yeah, you don't have to say the C, just say the S. Yes, the suit, here, I'll put it there. The suit has artificial muscles which support the user's body. The Japanese population is getting older, which can be a problem. This suit is a wonderful solution, so maybe that will help people. I never heard of that, but what about the other kind of robot? What was the other kind of robot? Funnily enough, that we just talked about it. You guys remember?
Uh,
What kind of shape is the other? This would be like a robot suit. Looks kind of big. Maybe
uh,
something like that. There we go. This is robot suit.
it looks like a snake.
Yes, right. So here I found a picture of this one where it helps your legs. It's holding up your muscles. So I don't know. I guess it helps you walk or something. It's funny. There's people like it's really true. Like in those science fiction movies, where people start becoming like half robot, half human being or something. It's like people are already starting to do that. Would you like to wear one of those, Raphael?
Uh,
What is it
I don't know,
for?
probably just for trying,
Yeah?
just for trying to see how it works, maybe.
Something yeah. Well, you can rent it. It's only 1,260 pounds per month.
Yeah, good idea, good idea.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea. It's funny. All right, maybe I'll have to read that later. Why people would do that? Okay. All right. So yes, it was like a snake. And what did they say it could be used for? What could a snake robot be used for? I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of it. Whoops. Important. Anybody remember? Something like this, maybe? Snake robot. So it's a robot, and it's in the shape of a snake. And in the article, it told us that it could be used to do something. Here it is swimming in the water.
To find people who suffered accidents, some kind of accidents.
Yeah. So maybe, sometimes when, like, for example, they just had a hurricane or a typhoon in the Philippines. So sometimes when an accident like that happens and there's still people living and they might be alive, but we can't find them, we can't get in there, maybe they could send this kind of robot out to look for people and find people that have been in accidents. So yeah, that's exactly what said. Okay, time for another one here. I'm going to read. This one is called Men Run Like Monkeys. All right. All right, so here I'm going to find you a picture of a monkey so you guys can be thinking about monkeys and men running like monkeys. Yeah, look, shooting a gun. All right, so we'll see what this says here. If you're expecting a Usain Bolt-like start, that's the name of a famous runner, you might be disappointed as competitors take part in Japan's four-legged running contest. Scampering in first place was Kenichi Ito, who crossed the line in 16.87 seconds to beat his own world record. Ito first pioneered the sport 10 years ago after studying the running style of the Patas monkey, and Guinness organizers have high hopes for future competitions. It would be very interesting to see him running against the fastest runner of all times, running on all fours. That would be a very interesting competition. We're not sure how threatened Usain will be by the challenge, but we certainly hope he accepts. Okay, so what was this story about? Did you guys understand what it was about?
A record. He can run in 4 legs.
Exactly. So here's Usain Bolt. So he's one of the fastest guys in the world, and so that's how they started this off. If you're expecting a Usain Bolt-like start, you might be disappointed as competitors take part in Japan's four-legged running contest. So yes, they're running on their hands and their feet, not just their feet like we usually do. So they're called it. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of it. Japanese They're calling that word scampering when you're scampering around. Let's see. I'm not finding that. Let's see. Does anybody remember what his time was? How fast was he when he was running like this? Let me see if I can find it.
16.8 seconds.
Hey, yeah, that's good. 16.87 or something like that. Yes. So here's a picture of him. And I guess he's the winner. He's running very fast. Have you guys ever done that before? Run on all four hands and feet?
I think when
No.
Just only when I was a child when I played.
Yeah, for
If
fun.
you have a cat, you play with them.
Right, yeah, if you have a cat and you're playing with them. Yep. I'm gonna whoops. It says Ito first pioneered the sport 10 years ago after studying the running style of the Patas monkey, and Guinness organizers have high hopes for future competition. Do you guys understand the word pioneered?
No.
And the first to do something.
Yes, exactly. So in the United States, we in the old days, we call it the old days, we had what we call the pioneers. And the pioneers, we called them because they were the ones that were moving west. So you see pictures like this. Maybe if you've a little bit about United States history, you've seen movies maybe that people lived in these not lived, but they traveled in these wagon trains. So there were lots of them together, and they went in a line, one after another, and that's how they traveled across the country when they were looking for new places to live, to farm and stuff. And so these were called pioneers. And so now the word to pioneer, so we use it as a verb. To pioneer something means to be the first one to do it. So that's right. And this is what it looks like when they were traveling across the country from the East Coast to the West Coast in the United States. So pioneer, yeah. And do you guys know what it means? The Guinness, the people from Guinness.
yeah.
What is that?
It's the people who has done this better.
Actually, do you guys know what the Guinness Book of World Records is? Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you make world records. And so a lot of times here, I'll show you a picture. The Guinness Book of World Records. People go around the world and they're always making records. Okay, so this is the Guinness Book of World Records largest dog. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Okay, this must be the longest tongue. So people all around the world do crazy stuff to try to get into the Guinness Book of World Records. So maybe he's trying to make the biggest hamburger. This lady has the longest fingernails. Maybe this dog has trying to get the longest ears. So they're saying that the Guinness Book of World Records might be interested in this guy. I want to show you guys the video real quick. So we'll watch a little bit of the video, which you can also hear the reporting in. Whoops. So you guys can get a sense of what it looks like.
If you were expecting a Usain Bolt-like start, you might be disappointed, as competitors take part in Japan's four-legged running contest.
It's so silly.
Scampering in first place was Kenichi Ito, who crossed the line in 16.87 seconds to beat his own world record.
With a new mark of 16.87.
Ito first pioneered the sport 10 years ago after studying the running style of the patas monkey, and Guinness organisers have high hopes for future competitions.
It would be very interesting to see him running against the fastest man of all times, against the fastest runner in all of all times. That would be a very interesting competition.
We're not sure how threatened Usain will be by the challenge, but we certainly hope he accepts it.
Okay. All right. Would anybody do a race like that right now? Would you guys do that?
No.
No.
I think I would just fall if I was doing that. I would probably start just falling all over the place. It wouldn't be very good. Okay, so how do you guys feel? How's the level? Is it too hard to understand, or just about right, or what?
Not too hard, but not too easy.
Not too hard, but not too easy. Okay. Let me see if I'm going to find one more here. No, not that one. Do you guys know what Greenpeace is? Have you guys heard of the organization Greenpeace?
Never heard already.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's an environmental activist group. So they have, they usually fight against like nuclear weapons and things like that. They want to like save the Earth. Maybe you've seen this, a picture like this, where they go out to ships and sometimes they try to stop them from doing certain things that might be harmful to whales or to the ocean or something like that. So they protest, and they're for the environment. They want to save the environment. Okay, so I wanted to make sure you knew what that was, because this article that I'm going to read is about that. Okay. So it's Russia and Greenpeace is the title. Armed with rifles and shouting orders, this is the moment masked Russian forces stormed a Greenpeace ship and arrested those on board. This new footage has been released by Greenpeace as it campaigns for Russia to let those arrested go. It shows the activists being forced to move at gunpoint. At one stage, an officer pushes one of the protesters over. 30 people, including crew members and 2 journalists, have been kept in custody since the raid in September. They were initially charged with piracy, but that has now been downgraded to hooliganism. 6 of them are British. Greenpeace had been protesting against oil drilling in the Arctic, and some of the activists have tried to climb Russia's offshore oil rig. Security forces say the protest put their workers in danger, but government officials in the Netherlands have accused Russia of violating human rights. All right, I'm going to read it again. Armed with rifles and shouting orders, this is the moment masked Russian forces stormed a Greenpeace ship and arrested those on board. Okay, so what happened in that first sentence there? What did the Russian forces do?
Force the storm.
Say it again.
To force a storm.
They stormed a Greenpeace ship. So that means when you have policemen and they're storming like a building or storming a ship, it means they're boarding it, they're getting onto it, but they're doing it in a way that's very fast and that the other people don't know that they're doing it. So, and they were armed with rifles and they were shouting orders like, you know, move over here and put your hands up, and those kinds of things are the orders that they were probably yelling. All right, this new footage has been released by Greenpeace as it campaigns for Russia to let those arrested go. It shows the activists being forced to move at gunpoint. At one stage, an officer pushes one of the protesters over. Okay, what does it mean by footage, where it says this new footage has been released by Greenpeace?
This filming
Yeah.
when you film something.
Yeah. Exactly. So the footage that means what you're filming. Okay, so like a video that gets released to like the news is called the footage. All right, and what happened to one of the protesters? What did the officer do to one of the protesters? I put it right there in the Verbling chat if you want to look over there. One of the officers did what to a protester?
Push him over.
Yeah, he pushed him over. Exactly. So that means he knocked him down. So he used his hands and he pushed and he made him fall down.
Is it a phrasal verb? Push him over.
Yes. Well, okay, that's a good question. All right. So in English, there's he pushed him over means he actually shoved him. Like to shove means to use your hands and you push.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. To shove, to push. Yeah. There's another thing called a pushover. if you are a pushover, if that's a completely different thing. If you are a pushover, that means you're a person who believes anything. You are gullible. You know, you'll say yes to anything. So it's like you allow people to push you over easily. So that's kind of a little bit different meaning. Okay, so let's see. The next one says 30 people, including crew members and 2 journalists, have been kept in custody since the raid in September. What does it mean to be kept in custody? You guys know?
They were arrested.
So to be kept in custody, where are they holding them? If you are being kept in custody, where are you living? Where are you being held?
I don't know, a prison or something like that. I don't know. It's a prison. It's
Yeah, it's a jail.
jail.
Usually you're in jail, which is not exactly the same thing as a prison. It's like a short-term place where they hold you just for a little while, and like if you're waiting to go to trial or something like that. Yeah, so they're holding them in custody, so that means they still have not released them. So they first were charging them with piracy. You guys heard of that before? Piracy? Think of pirates, where you go on from one. You're a pirate if you're taking over another person's ship. So it's kind of like a robber or something, but you're doing it on the water. But now they downgraded it, so they made it a less offense, so it's not so serious. That's what you do when you downgrade something. You make it less serious. And so now it's just hooliganism. So if you are a hooligan, you're somebody who likes to mess things up, and maybe you write graffiti, you draw graffiti on the walls, or you throw a rock into a window or something like that. That's called like hooliganism. That happens a lot of times at protests. Like with the Brazilian protests, what happens sometimes, some people take advantage of it and start acting like hooligans. That's just making a mess of things. Okay, and let's see. Greenpeace had been protesting against oil drilling in the Arctic, and some of the activists have tried to climb Russia's offshore oil rig. Security forces say the protest put their workers in danger, but government officials in the Netherlands have accused Russia of violating human rights. Okay, so there's the last 2 sentences there, right there. They were protesting. What were they protesting? What were they protesting against? Marcelo or anybody? Vu? Tai?
I think I think they're protesting against the oil extraction from the
Yes. Or we call it oil drilling. When
oil
the
drilling.
oil drilling, yes. So they're trying to drill a hole. They're looking for oil, yeah, and taking it out. And it's called an offshore oil rig. So it's out in the middle of the ocean. All right. And Russia was accused of violating. So violating means going against human rights. So I'm gonna actually play that one for you because I think it'll be easier for you to understand if you see the video with it. So I'm gonna see because I've already read it twice now, and then I want you to watch the video and tell me, is it easier to understand when you're looking at the video while you're listening? So here it's about a minute long, and then we'll be done.
Armed with rifles and shouting orders, this is the moment masked Russian forces stormed a Greenpeace ship and arrested those on board. This new footage has been released by Greenpeace as it campaigns for Russia to let those arrested go. It shows the activists being forced to move at gunpoint, and at one stage, an officer pushes one of the protesters over. 30 people, including crew members and 2 journalists, have been kept in custody since the raid in September. They were initially charged with piracy, but that has now been downgraded to hooliganism. 6 of them are British. Greenpeace had been protesting against oil drilling in the Arctic, and some of the activists had tried to climb Russia's offshore oil rig. Security forces say the protest put their workers in danger, but government officials in the Netherlands have accused Russia of violating human rights.
Okay, was it a lot easier to understand when you were watching?
Yes.
Yes. So that gives you a little more visual and helps you understand what's going on. You guys, if you're interested, check out this website. It's there's not new stuff every day, but it's interesting for English. The English is not always 100% correct. They do make some errors sometimes, but it's an interesting place to go look for some simple, short things to read, and then you can see if you understand it and you know, work with it as a resource if you're interested. So how do you guys feel about the listening? Was it that last one? Was it too hard, or was it okay, or were there some new words for you?
It was for me. It was okay.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good. Vu, how was it for you?
It's difficult to me.
Yeah, was it easier with the video? But it was. She had a British accent though, so it's a little different than me listening to me. Marcelo, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. So I'm using Verbling through my cell phone. I don't know why I couldn't see the video here.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know why. Well, that is the link right there if you want to watch it to see. But it's nice to be able to practice your listening skills with something that's not so long. So that's why, you know, watching a simple news report that's only 1 minute long and listening to it over and over again can really help you be able to understand the words and, you know, improve your listening. So. Okay, you guys, thanks for coming. I'm going to be teaching the next hour now on Verbling, and so that's going to be a conversation class. So if you want to just come and hang out with us and talk, we're going to be talking about lots of different things. So it'll give you more opportunity to speak. This class was mostly you guys listening and then answering some of the questions that I had. And so hopefully it gave you good practice and also gives you a little bit of idea of what you can work on the next time when you're listening to something. Okay? I'll see you guys.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Bye. She was, okay, so this was a while ago. She was with a woman believed to be who was carrying a hold-all in which authorities say was Dinara's baby. A couple, later identified as being Turkish-born Germans, is then seen going to meet the young woman. Police say the couple had agreed to pay 1,000 Turkish lira, which is around 300 pounds, for the child. Security footage shows Dinara going into the toilets carrying the holdall, believed to contain her baby, and then leaving without it. Shortly after, the Turkish-born German woman leaves the toilets with the same holdall, but Turkish police say she brought the infant back when she realized she couldn't get through passport control without the necessary documentation. Officers say the woman then contacted them to report an abandoned baby in the toilets. Turkish authorities have since deported Dinara, her mother, and the baby. The woman who was allegedly trying to buy the child was released after giving her statement. Okay, so let's ask a few questions. Start off with a simple one. So, in what country did this happen?
In your class.
Oh, okay, wonderful, great. All right, and Marcelo's back. All right, wonderful.
Good to see you again. Good evening.
Good to see you.
We're out.
How's it going?
Everything going on. Thanks God.
Yeah?
Today's Friday.
Good? Today's Friday,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm hearing a little bit of an echo. Do you think, are you hearing that too?
Sorry, I didn't understand you. Can you repeat?
I'm wondering if you guys are hearing the echo. I'm hearing myself as an echo.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah?
I'm hearing your just echo, but not mine.
Yeah, not yours. Yeah, okay.
But it's not enough disturbance.
Okay. Okay, well, let's, we can go ahead and get started. We will see if anybody else joins us. Anybody who belongs to Verbling or wants to try Verbling can join a class at any time as long as there's room. And so this is going to be a listening class. So I'm going to be reading some little short little news articles, and I want you guys to listen, and then I'm going to ask some questions. So this will just be practice for you guys to see if you understand what I say. I'm going to speak like I'm talking now, so not super fast, but not super slow, so kind of a normal speed. And I'm going to turn off my video so you see my picture there. All right, so you guys, let's see. Let me have you. Let me try to Yes, I'm gonna mute you and just see if that helps at all. I'm not sure. Is that helping? Yeah. Okay, that helps. So I'm gonna leave the microphone muted, Yessie, but when you want to speak, go ahead and unmute yourself. Okay, so this is the first little news article. It's kind of a wild thing. I just was looking online for some things and found this one. Police, okay, the title of it is Woman Sells Her Baby. Police in Turkey have arrested a woman at the Sabiha Gökçen airport in Istanbul as she allegedly tried to sell her baby. The 22-year-old woman from Turkmenistan, identified as Dinara A, was caught on CCTV as she arrived at the airport on the 14th of September. Hi, everybody. This is Lisa, and I am one of the teachers here on Verbling.com, and this is going to be an English class for the next hour. It's going to be a listening class, so if you are interested in practicing your listening comprehension, you can join the class. If you have already made a reservation, then you can use the reservation now. Just click on the button up there above the video. And if you haven't yet made a reservation, you can still join the class. We can have up to 9 people in the Google Hangouts here. So if you are a and click Join Class. So you just click on the Join Class button. It's a green button. At the top? Oh, darn it. Hold on. I'm going to find how many. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so had to close my window. The Verbling window opens and then starts talking because you're seeing the recording. This is a live class happening right now. I am in Washington State in the United States, and it's 6 p.m. in the evening for me. And so anybody around the world who wants to join us can join us. Hello, Raphael.
Hi, Lisa.
How are you doing today?
I'm a little cold today, but I'm fine. The
Cold, huh?
weather, yeah, the weather changed here, so it affects me a little, but I'm fine.
Yeah,
So
I
so
was talking.
don't mind if I sneeze a little bit.
Okay, you have a little cold. Yeah, I was talking to somebody who lives near Curitiba, and he showed me the clouds that they had today there. It was colder. I can't
Yeah,
say really cold compared to here, but
probably not.
I'm wearing a wool sweater right now. Okay. All right, and who else is joining us? Yes or Yessie?
Yesy.
Yessie, hi Yessie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Mexico City.
Wow. Okay. Wonderful. Well, welcome. Have you been on Verbling before?
Yes, but this is my first time